Hello, friends. I wanted to go ahead and present the video that I promised I was gonna present on Abua vowels and the sounds. So it's quite interesting when you look at it. Abua vowel sounds they're a little different. They're different actually from the uh, the English vowel sounds. In the first place, we have two sets of vowel sounds. So there and then you see a big difference. But then, other than that, in English, they determine one vowel can be a long vowel and another vowel can be short vowel just by tone marking the vowel. Like in fiance, when they tone mark the E, then you see that say is a little longer. But in Abuan language, it's not like that. The tone marking of a vowel does not necessarily prolong the pronunciation of that vowel. Okay? So if you look at this little slide that I've made here, I would want to just lay the foundation of this discussion. See, the language is phonology-based language. And that is what Abua is. It's phonetics. It's just how it is spelled, that is how it is pronounced. In other words, you must pronounce every letter as it appears on the word itself. So you can't skip any word. You don't throw in a word there for fancy. It has to have a purpose, and he has to bring its sound out. That is how Abua language is. So, like I mentioned, in Abua language, the long vowel sounds are obtained only by doubling the vowel itself. Okay? You can't just have a single vowel and you think it's going to be prolonged in the pronunciation. No, just a single vowel by itself, whether you tone mark it or not, cannot prolong its sound. If you want it to be prolonged, then you have to do something special. You have to double its sound. Okay? You have to double its sound. And so there you have it's kind of tiny, but if you critically look at it carefully, you will see the A, E, I, O, U's, the ones that are non-tone marked. It's, no diacritic on them. So then on the right-hand side, you see the one that comes with diacritics. All right? If I try to say that in Abua, it's going to be the one that doesn't have the diacritic. It's going to be the A, the A, and E, O, and U. Okay? Again, let's try it again. You have the A, E, O, U. And then on the right-hand side, you have the one with the diacritic. You try to say it's going to be A, E, R, O. See? So you have those. Those are the ones with the tone mark. All right. So how do they play when we spell them? When I look at it, since we cannot just pick a single-handed one vowel to say this is going to be prolonged when we pronounce it, all the vowels have equal length. So in order to have a long vowels, you have to double that same vowels, okay? And you see that in the spellings all the time. So we cannot go by long vowels and low vowels. Rather, we look at the way it is being pronounced. So the classification would not be based on long and short vowels, but rather the pitch of the vowel, how it is being pronounced. That is a better classification. So we have the high pitch and we have the low pitch. So, and this is how I came up with, but I'm going to prove it how they came to be high pitch and low pitch so we can have a better understanding. Okay? So now let's do the exercise. Okay? The first vowels there we have the A, which is the one without the tone mark. And then you have the one with the tone mark, which is pronounced Okay? So which of them requires you to constrict your windpipe in order to say it? Because for you to have a high tone, a high pitch, your mouth will be open and your windpipe will be constricted. That is how you have a high tone. It's going to be sharp and piercing tone, Which one would, and the way you would know is that which one is it that requires high energy to pronounce? So look at it. Obviously, this one is quite obvious. The A, we all agree that is a high pitch. And of course, the counterpart of it, which is the that is very relaxed. You can see your vocal cord is relaxed. So we know A is high pitch and is low pitch. So that is clear. Let's move on to the next one. Then we have the E, all right? We in Abua, we pronounce the E without the tone mark is pronounced A, okay? A. The one with the tone mark is pronounced A. Now, which one is high pitch? Which one requires that you at least constrict your windpipe while opening your mouth to be able to say it? No doubt about it. Try the exercise yourself. The A, the one without the tone mark, the E without the tone mark, A, you open your mouth and your vocal cord is relaxed for you to be able to say it. On the other side, the one with the tone mark, the E, try to say it. You see? A. See, you constrict your windpipe. So that is a high energy sound. And so we call that the high pitch. So E is the high pitch. The A is the high pitch. Okay? A is high pitch and A is low pitch. So, all right, let's see the next exercise. The next set is the tone mark I and the I that is not tone mark. In Abua, I is E. Okay, E. But then the one that is tone mark sounds a little different, deep. But in order to say that one you must constrict. Okay, which one would you constrict your windpipe? Is it the one that is tone mark that has a deep sound, or the one that is not tone mark? The one that is not tone mark, which is the I, is A, A, A. But the one that is tone mark is E. So look at it and tell me which one is it that requires high energy? Which one is it that requires you constricting your windpipe in order to be able to pronounce it? It is very clear. The one that you tone mark doesn't really require too much of constriction of your windpipe. You try the exercise yourself. E, see how deep it is, E. But the one that is not tone mark, E, you constrict your windpipe in order to pronounce it. So the I without the tone mark is high pitch. Okay? We move on to the next one. That is the O. In Abua, the O is also pronounced O. But then the other one that is tone mark is pronounced O. Now look at it. Ask yourself, which one requires you to constrict your windpipe in order to pronounce it? Because you have a high pitch when your vocal cord is constricted with your mouth open. It's quite clear. There is no constriction of your windpipe. But will require you constrict your windpipe while opening your mouth in order to sound that O. So O is high pitch. All right? Look at the next one. This is the oo sound. Okay? The one without the tone mark is pronounced oo, oo. Okay? So your windpipe is open, but try to pronounce the one that has the diacritic. You constrict your windpipe in order to pronounce that, like in O, like in okoro. See, in a boy will say na kororo in order to say it because it requires high energy. You put some kind of effort to be able to say it because you are constricting your windpipe. So no doubt the one with the tone mark is high pitch. So there you have the classification. The one that with the high pitch and the one that with the low pitch. That is a better classification than using the English classification of long vowel and short vowel, because we don't have that. For a vowel, vowels, that's what I'm trying to say. So there is no long and short vowels in Abuan language. All vowels have equal length. Unless you double them, then you have a prolonged one. So we cannot have a short vowel and a low vowel and a low and a long vowel. No, we can't have that. So the pitch of it would determine what the vowel would play. All right? So there you have the classification. So the high pitch will be the A, E, R, O. Those are high pitch because of how they sound. Then come to the low pitch. You will see A, E, O, U. Those are low pitch. And so that's how it is. And how does this help us in the spelling and pronunciation? So this is it. You cannot mix high and low pitch. It's unnatural. And we're going to try that exercise because it's very tasking. If you go back, the same word, just one word that you're trying to spell, and try to mix them. One word has a high pitch, the next letter in the same word. The first letter has a high pitch, the next letter has a hope. You will be constricting and relaxing and constricting and relaxing in order to complete the pronunciation of that word. That is unnatural. It is unnatural. When you constrict your throat in order to pronounce a word, you stay constricted until the word is done. Then you relax. That is natural. You see? So that is the rule. You can't mix them because you cannot say O. It's just too much. It's just unnatural. You're going to have clicks and it's going to require high energy before you can complete a speech. So, and that is the way the Abuan man speaks. We're going to take examples so you can see why you cannot mix them. All right? So that is a guide right here. You can't mix both sets in one word. Either the word belongs to set number 1 or it belongs to set number 2. No Abuan word takes vowels from both sets because it's unnatural. The sound would be unnatural and tasking, very tasking to the speaker. All right? So what do? In Abuan, we add articles, vowels to verbs so we can get nouns. That is how. So we hear the A, the E added to a word in order to turn it to a noun. So we're going to practice this. Let's go to that website that I mentioned, the Lexi Logos, and practice this exercise, okay? We're going to take, for instance, now, so the question is that what determines what article you're going to add in order to turn a word to a noun? See, the main word itself would determine what article you're going to add, what vowel you're going to add. Okay, so take for instance Abuan. Okay, Abuan. If you consider that word Abuan, then you will need to ask yourself, what are the vowels in Dian? What are the vowels in Dian? Which of the sets do those vowels belong to? When you determine where they belong to, then you know which of the vowels you're going to use as an article to qualify it, to turn it to a noun. Now let's go to Lexilogos and practices. We're going to go to Lexilogos. We're going to go to Lexilogos. We're going to go to Lexilogos so we can practice this. And to go to Lexilogos, so let me use this opportunity so I can show how you access Lexilogos. Let me log this out completely. And so to access Lexilogos, you go to Google. You can Google it, whichever, or Bing, whichever you want to use. So then you see you can type in Lexilogos. And I usually pick up the one that says diacritic. Well, let's go there. And then I pick the online keyboard. Okay. See, so when you get to this, and that's what I like, the online keyboard, because it gives you all kind of the macrons, that is the diacritics right there. So you select which one you want to use. But if supposedly it takes you to a different page, you would want to go ahead and select here. Drop box and select diacritic right here. So it takes you to this box. And I love this box because everything, I make a choice of which tone mark I want to use, which of the diacritic I would select. So like I said, let's consider the word Abuan, that is name, Abuan. Let's spell that. So how do we do it? Like I said, you have to determine which of the vowels are there in the body of the word itself. Then you decide, that would give you the guide to decide which article you're going to add, because Abuan would say Abuan. So is it a or a? The group of the vowels in the main word would determine. So ask yourself, as you spell, where do they belong to? Now look at Dian. So Dian. So D would have to be the D with the diacritic. So you put the D. I'm going to do it in lowercase letters. Okay, so I put the D there. So I know I have to tone mark this D because it's D. It's not D, it's D. So then I go to my tone mark. Excuse me. I'm going to use the tone mark with the dots. So you can select which one you want, but just to make it look decent, I'm going to take that one. See, that is D. Okay, but D N. So the other I that will follow there is the I with the diacritic. D N. See, so you're going to pick I, tone mark the I because it's E, it's not A, it's not DN. DN. So now what will follow next is A, which is E. Remember, if you tone mark the E, it becomes A. But there is A at the end, okay? At the end. Now, add the N. That is a N. So you have the N. So ask yourself, I tone mark, I tone mark, E without a tone mark, which of the set does it belong? See? So that's it. It belongs to the set in which you have the low pitch. The low pitch set. In the low pitch set, what is R? What is the A? The A is R. So it is Adian. That is the right way to pronounce the word. It's not Adian. It's Adian. So your A there, should be tone mark. So at the end. So it's going to be a tone mark. I use the top dot. D dot. I tone mark. And then E, no tone mark. And N. That is how you spell name in a word. At the end. It's not at the end. See? At the end. See? So it is the that comes, not a. All right? So let's say at the end of the day. All right? At the end of the day. Now we move on. At the end of the day. Excuse me. At the end of the day. So that is his name. R will be what? R will be high pitch. See? So it's going to be the O tone mark. All right? Let's use the dot. O tone mark. And D or D. So it sounds D. It's not OD. So which means the D would be left alone. No tone mark on that. But remember, it says OD. OD. So it's not OD. Look at it. So the I will be left alone, not tone mark. So now you have it. Abuan Ade, his name. See? So you have the word fully spelled. Now, because you want to post this on Facebook, how you can do is now you're done. You can now touch the done button, and this allows you to now highlight and copy. See? Now you can copy it. Okay, so at this point, you can then move to Facebook. Let's look for Facebook. You go to Facebook. And then you can post it on the thread that, you wanted to post. In this case, I'm just going to post into one because it's a demo. So go ahead and post it there. All right, so see, I've posted it. I've pasted it. Now I can post it. See? So you are now, everybody can see it now. That's for this demo. So you see, at the end of it, look at how nice and clean it is, because of the diacritic. Now, I used to, prior to me knowing how to tone mark this alphabet, the use of this diacritic, I had to use H, especially when I'm writing D and B, the one that should be tone marked, because I didn't know how to tone mark them. And there was one guy that published in a book, and he introduced the H factor as a way of getting rid of the tone marks, which was really cool, and I was using it. The thing is, I observed that the letters were getting so prolonged, the words were getting longer than, necessary. And a lot of people were, why are you spelling that? Because I was trying to force them to pronounce it right, because the language is phonology-based language. So you can't, if you don't tone mark or you don't add something to spell it phonetically, it will be hard for people to communicate effectively. So, but with what we know now, especially with this website, everybody can access it and get all kind of tone marks. So you can specify and tell, what you really mean, especially when there is an ambiguity in the word that you've spelled, so it helped a lot. All right. So note what we've said here, that it is important that you make it clear which set the vowels you're using belong to. And that would determine which of the articles you're going to use. Remember, it's not about long vowels and short vowels. No, we don't have that in Abuan. All vowels are of the same length. What determines is the way the vowel is pronounced. Is it high pitch or is it low pitch? That is a better classification. And it will help you follow that guide, you would hardly ever miss your spelling. or mix them up. I see the reason why we're doing this is stress testing the system before we get to publication. And I appreciate the guys who are bringing, change is not an easy thing. So people resist and we resist. That's good. We are testing the system. But I want you to go and practice. And when you practice, if you see anywhere that this system is faulted, this classification that we have, discovered here, the high pitch and the low pitch, if you see anywhere that it didn't go through, just forward it to me or forward it to any of the admins so we can look into it. Because this is really a good guide to spelling. And do the exercise. I posted a lot of spellings on the threads. Tell us which of those spellings is wrong. There is no way you can mix two vowels, one tone mark, the other one non-tone mark in the same word when they don't sound the same. Then it's going to go into a mode in which the one who is learning how to speak the language will be clicking up and down. It's going to go O, R. That is so difficult to speak. So when you are in the mode of the low pitch, if that is the word you're trying to spell or pronounce, if it belongs to low pitch, you're going to go low pitch until you finish that word. And then you go to the next word. And if it's high pitch, you be on high pitch until you finish the word.